Hello everyone, and welcome to our 2020 open house. I'm the troop master of Trail Life Troop Indiana 1685. My name is Scott Nall, and if you're watching this today, it's one of two reasons have happened. Either, number one, you were unable to attend and you're watching on YouTube, and if that's the case, then welcome. Or it could be number two, that I was unable to attend, and if that's the case, and that means my wife is currently working on her fifth have a baby badge. And so please keep us in your prayers, and hopefully by the end of this meeting we'll have a future American Heritage Girl at our house. So that'll be exciting. Like I said, my name is Scott Nall. I'm the troop master here, and so I'm going to go over a few of the key points that you have on your handout today. Going over our COVID-19 rules and regulations, so you know that we're keeping all the trailmen and leaders safe. So in order to do this, I'm going to have to change roles real quick. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, bam! Whoa, I'm back. Hey guys, Dr. Scott Nall here from thevillageosteopath.com, and I'm here to talk to you about Trail Life's COVID-19 rules and regulations. So while many places out there are going by the government mandated rules, we're taking it a little step further here at Trail Life. We're going to go and use the extraterrestrial rules.
Let me handle this one.
Where's your mask?
It's back here.
Well, get it on!
I'm trying.
Hey, who are you?
I'm driving.
Open the door, son.
There's a guy out here. What do I do?
Well, what are you waiting for? Let's go! Well, let's get out of here, Michael!
I've never driven forward before. Get the bikes. Meet us at the playground at the top of the hill. Let's do it.
Okay, just joking. When I think of kind of our world today, that for some reason that movie pops into my head. That was I think that's the first movie I actually even saw. I think I was 3 years old when that came out. That was the first one I went to go see at a movie theater, and so it's always that kind of sticks in my brain. So, but no, Doug is going to go over kind of the specifics of the rules today. But I did want to say that our rules are going to be based upon our charter organization's rules. Okay, so in Trail Life, part of our Trailman's Oath is that we need to respect authority and treat others the way we want to be treated. And so all of the rules and regulations come down to really following those two principles. And so we are going to respect authority, and our authority in this case is our charter organization, Legacy Christian School. And so we're going to listen to them. And Legacy Christian has based their rules off the American Academy of Pediatrics. So it's not just something they pulled out of the air. It's not just something the way they feel about it. This is based upon what some people feel is good information, and it's from people who deal with children, and that's what we're doing with here. Is we're dealing with young adults, and we're dealing with children, and so we're taking the doctor's recommendations and into that. So I hope Doug will do a great job explaining all that to you. If you don't feel like this is enough, it could be this might be something that you don't feel comfortable with. If that's fine, that's okay. You can always join the trail next year. This is just the way we're implementing it, and we're doing it the best we can to try to maximize both being able to do things and also safety. If you feel like your trailman wants to do a little bit more but still join the trail this year, and you want them to wear a mask and gloves or whatever you want them to wear the entire time, I will guarantee you that they will not be ridiculed or looked down upon in any way. We take that very seriously here, and I'm going to instruct all the trail guides or the trail masters to make sure that in their groups that no teasing is going on, no one's going to be ridiculed or anything of that nature. If that's the case, we're going to have a very low tolerance for that. Boys will be boys, so to speak, and people are going to make fun and poke around, but not in this case. We're not going to let that happen. This is a serious thing, and we understand that you as a parent have to make your own decisions, and we are going to make sure that that's not the case in terms of teasing and bullying or anything of that nature. So I hope you find that comforting to you. If you have any more questions, please feel free to talk to me or Doug, and we'll make sure that we can clear it up as much as possible. Thanks a lot. Or what is Trail Life? Trail Life is the premier character development program in the United States for men, and it helps produce the next generation of responsible and godly husbands, fathers, and citizens. Okay? When we were with the church, before we moved here to Legacy Christian, we like to call ourselves Men's Ministry 1.0. And in Trail Life, there are no boys, there are only trailmen. And so we are Men's Ministry 1.0. The way we present that is our mission is we like to present the gospel in a high adventure, high skill, and rugged fashion. So if that sounds like you, welcome to the trail. So why do I do this? Every year I think about, why am I doing Trail Life? Why am I helping out? Why is my son in Trail Life? And I come up with new ideas every year of why I think I gravitate toward this. Many of you probably don't know this, even if you've known me for a while, but I'm looking back at my experiences growing up, and my father left my family when I was about 2 weeks old. So I grew up in a single parent home, and back when that was, when I was growing up, there was a lot of things on the TV, even at church, that was trying to dissuade people from getting divorced. And because of that, there was tons of statistics coming out talking about how I was going to turn out to be pretty much either in jail or killing someone or dropping out of school. There's all sorts of stuff going on there was negative about being from a single parent home. And my mom made sure that that wasn't going to be the case, and so she pushed it really, really hard. And my grandparents worked feverishly to make sure that I would turn out a good, godly person. I think they did a great job. As a matter of fact, I never felt that I'd been slighted in any way by not having a father that was around. And to this day, I still have not seen my father for about 39 years. So it's been a long time. I guess he's still out there somewhere. I don't really know. But what really drove it home that this might be an issue is when I was in my late 20s. I'd finished medical school. I was in residency doing training, and I was at a medical conference with one of my best friends, and we were sitting around, and at this time I had no children at all. I was married. My friend had already had, I think, about 3 kids at that time, and we were sitting around and we were talking about what he was going to do that weekend. And he mentioned to me that he was having some issues with some of his kids. And he said, yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to hang out with my dad this weekend, and we're going to talk about it, and hopefully he'll give me some advice about, maybe some parenting ideas and things of that nature. And then it just hit me. And before that time, I never really thought about parenting that much. I didn't have kids of my own. And so it just seemed like something that was far off in the distance. But what really connected to me is that is something that I will never have. I'm not going to be able to go and hang out with my father and talk about, hey, Brennan and I, we're having some issues right now. What did you do when I was that age? Could you give me some guidance here? So because of that, I started feeling a little bit like, ooh, what am I going to do when I have kids? I don't know how to be a dad. I didn't have one. I don't have a role model to really talk to. I had a grandfather growing up who was excellent, but it still just wasn't quite the same. And he's passed away now, so I don't have anyone to ask. And I remember I was at a church at the time. I remember asking some of the ministers there, like, hey, do you guys have any kind of thing where you can hook me up with like a mentor dad or something like that? And they said, we really don't have anything like that. And so it was kind of a little scary. And I remember we were at my wife and I were at the homeschool convention, and there was a table there for Trail Life. I went over and looked at it, and I thought it was a great thing. And I didn't really make the connection how this was going to help me be a better father. And really, if you look at what Trail Life is, it's a structured way to raise your son with a biblical worldview. I think that's something all of us in this room want to do, is raise our children with biblical worldviews, and we struggle sometimes trying to make intentional choices to do that. I know there are many times when we're just sitting around and I'm like, ooh, I could be doing something with one of my sons right now, or Vesper, my daughter, and I just don't know what to do. And now you can open up your book and find something very structured to do with your son to teach them a biblical worldview. It's something to teach them how to be a man, and it's something that's fun and exciting. So if this speaks to you, I hope you'll help us by joining the trail. Okay? Let's move on. There's a list in your handout of all the different leaders. I'll have Doug come up a little later and introduce everyone to you if I'm not there. We have a great roster of leaders this year, and we're looking to add more as our troop is growing. So please think about doing that. So next thing I want to do is talk a little bit about the Woodlands Trail curriculum. The Woodlands Trail is for grades K through 5, and it starts with the Foxes, and it goes up to the Hawks, which would be 2nd and 3rd grade, and finally culminates in Mountain Lions, which is 4th and 5th grade. There are some changes this year to the program, which I will go over, and it's really exciting changes that I've been looking forward to. How's the Woodlands Trail organized? Well, Woodlands Trail, because we're looking at elementary and kindergarten trailmen here, it is organized by participation. So there's no earning this and earning that. There is a little bit that goes on in terms of the Mountain Lion group, but it's very muted compared to the middle and high school age programs. And so basically what they're doing is they're coming in and they're joining on the trail with us every 1st and 3rd Tuesday of the month, and we're having a great time. And it's divided into something called branches, and there are different types of branches. There's the Heritage branch, which talks about our Christian heritage and also our American heritage. There's the Hobbies branch, which is pretty far stretching. It could be anything. I mean, we did, for our Hobbies branch last year, we went to the Renaissance Fair and looked at people whose hobbies is dressing up like Renaissance people. So that was pretty fun. There's life skills. This would be like first aid, for instance, brushing your teeth, situational awareness, things that are going on. Just how to take care of yourself, right, when you get to be a grown-up. Next is sports. That's pretty self-explanatory. Outdoor skills. This is the one we focused on most last year. This has to do with setting fires in a safe way, using cutting tools, navigation, orienting out in the wilderness, pitching tents, camping, all the things you think of when you think of trail life or even Boy Scouts. And then finally, values. And this is our Christian values. Last year we talked about the sanctity of life, for instance. We talked about trustworthiness. And so there's a lot of different values that we work in to all of our curriculum. So the way that things work is that the trailmen will receive what's called a joining patch, and the joining patch is done after they complete kind of the just basic intro stuff, learning the oath, learning the motto, learning the pledge to the flag. There's a little bit extra for the Mountain Lions with folding flags, and once that's done, you'll get a patch that has your patrol animal on it, along with a tree. And then as you complete each branch, you get a branch pin that goes on your patch. So it cuts down the number of patches you have to sew, which is kind of nice. You can just pin the branches on, and it makes it really good. So let me talk about a few different changes we have this year. Excuse me, a couple changes that we're going to have to the Mountain Lion program. So the Mountain Lion program is unique in that it is a crossing over time. In other words, the Mountain Lions, being in 4th and 5th grade, they're going through changes in their bodies, they're going through changes in their minds, and they're going through a little bit of growth in terms of being able to experience new things and have new responsibilities. And they're moving, the way they've got it set up in the program is that the Mountain Lion is the more fierce animal than the other two. And you can kind of imagine the Mountain Lion starting to kind of work its way through the forest. It's not a fox anymore. It doesn't stay with other foxes. It can be by itself. It doesn't hide in bushes. It's not a hawk. It doesn't stay up in a tree where nothing can get it. It's down on the ground. It's predatory, and it's able to start moving and doing its own thing. And so the culmination of the Mountain Lion program is something called the timber line. And the timber line is when you walk up a mountain and you finally get high enough to where the trees aren't there anymore. And so the symbolism with that program is that once you get to the timber line, the Mountain Lion no longer has any protection of the forest anymore. They're no longer in the woods, the woodland trail. are now up in the mountains where the navigators and the adventurers are. And so before, we were only meeting twice a month with the mountain lions, and that's really not enough in order for them to receive their Timberline badge if they want to do that. So what we're doing is we're adding the second Tuesday this year for the mountain lions, and in order to increase youth leadership in our older section, navigators and adventurers, we're going to have them do the curriculum on that second Tuesday. So that's going to be something extra. Also, Woodlands Trails is also restricted in that you're not allowed to work ahead. And so traditionally we're not allowing people to work ahead, but because once again it could be we're not going to be able to get that Timberline because of our lack of meetings, then we're going to allow mountain lions, if they choose, to continue to work ahead with their families to earn the extra badges, the extra branches they need to get their Timberline award. Okay, so pretty exciting changes, and as we get more and more volunteers, we'll be able to expand to more days for all the patrols, hopefully. But that's where we're moving at this year. That's the biggest change in our Woodlands Trail program. If you have any more questions about that, feel free to ask me or ask another one of the leaders. There's plenty of ideas on Trail Life Connect. Please log on to that, create an account, and that's your next best thing to do. Also, we have something called a Hit the Trail event in the Woodlands Trail, and of course the navigators and adventurers are also welcome to come to this most of the time. And this is a outdoor event or some type of event that's off premises, off Legacy Christian School usually. It usually happens on a Saturday. It's going to change dates per the month, and it's just going to be depending on who's organizing it that month. We try to spread those out so not the same person's organizing. All right. Next we have is our Navigators program. The Navigators, we're going to be a little bit more structured this year. We're going to have a set curriculum. The Navigator program is very... Ooh, something's biting me, sorry. The Navigator program is very intense on badge work. And so we're going to start doing, it's going to be a 3-year rotation. That way, if you enter in the middle of it, you're not going to miss anything. So basically in the 3 years, we go through everything twice. So it should be that you should be able to get through everything that you need. Unlike Woodlands Trails, navigators and adventurers can work on their own and are actually encouraged to do so. Also, throughout the year, we're going to try to see who might be a good junior patrol leader. We have not had a junior patrol leader in the past, and I think we're going to have enough navigators this year to do that. The junior patrol leader will have extra duties, and that they will have to come. Man, I'm really getting eaten up out here. Whew. They are going to have to come to our officers conference on the 4th Tuesday of the month. Now, we won't be meeting every month, but you will be contacted about that. So, kind of recap about Navigator program. We're meeting on the 1st and 3rd Tuesday, which will be designated for badge work. There is a list of what we're going to be working through in your curriculum there. And then on the 2nd Tuesday, there will be programming for mountain lions. Also, it's time for officers to set up adventure and time away from the site. And then 4th Tuesday will be officers conference if we have one. And finally, adventure program. The adventure program is for grades 9 through 12. This one is done. It's supposed to be self-directed to a certain degree. So we have what are called advisors for that. So Greg Jinks is our advisor. And so you will come to Greg and you look through your book and say, hey, Greg, I want to work on these things. And then he will direct you on how to do that the best way. We will have set meetings for you to have time to do that. And if you want to go back and do some of the Navigator stuff that you haven't done before, you can do that too. Or if you want to just work on your own things, that's plenty of time to do that as well. So you just need to let us know how you'd like to structure that when you get there. Like I said, it's a very self-directed thing. It builds tons of leadership. When I first read through the Navigator or the Adventure program, I thought, wow, I wish I would have had this when I was in high school. Because as someone who hires people today, that would have been great. I would have hired anybody that had gone through this program that had these type of leadership skills. So if you're in high school, seriously think about that, because it's going to put you way above everybody else in terms of your ability to put yourself in a marketplace someday and get a job and do well. I interview tons of people. I've interviewed tons of people, and these are the kind of skills that people who interview, at least people who are serious about interviewing and getting good quality workers or good quality leaders, are looking for. So think about that. All right, next section is going to be leadership opportunities for parents. We need help. You know, we have a lot of us that are on the team that are doing multiple roles, and I'm just really gonna push you guys, and moms too. Moms have a great opportunity to do leadership things here in Trail Life, but I really would encourage you to try to think about stepping up and doing some sort of leadership opportunity, even if it's just coming to one meeting and discussing what it is that you do for a living, or something you might have special skills at. It doesn't matter what those skills are. You might think they're not related to Trail Life. Write them down on the pamphlet that we're passing around, and I guarantee you I can make them fit. There's all sorts of things. If you're doing something, that means it's important, and people need to be able to do that. And so we'll find a place for you. And like I said, one reason why I think leadership in Trail Life is so important is that it really gives you, as a parent, a very structured way to live the Christian life, to teach the Christian worldview to your son, and to put him on the trail, so to speak, to being a great Christian leader, a great Christian father, a great citizen, and a great Christian husband in the future. So I hope this wasn't too long. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to email me, and we'll talk if you have any questions. And we'll see you on the trail.